All right, let's take a look at the practice test. For the instructions, we're asked to plot each complex number. So for the first one, we have 2 minus 2i. And I'm just going to rewrite this as 2 plus negative 2 times my imaginary unit I. So let's grab this real quick. And I'm going to come to the complex plane and just paste this in. Now, hopefully you did watch the lesson where we went into a lot of detail on this topic, but just in case you didn't, or in case you're still lost, I want to just spend a little bit of time on this first problem and give you a refresher. So the first thing is we should know at this point that a complex number in standard form is a plus bi, or sometimes you'll see this in a book as x plus yi, but I'm going to stick to this one right now and get rid of this one just so I don't confuse anybody. So the a is the real part and the b is the imaginary part. So a in this particular case is 2. And b, the number that is multiplying the imaginary unit I here, is negative 2 in this particular case. And then of course I is the imaginary unit. By definition, I is equal to the square root of negative 1, or we could say that I squared is equal to negative 1. When we think about the complex plane, really the only difference here is that the horizontal axis, instead of being labeled as the x-axis, is now labeled as the real axis, and the vertical axis, instead of that being labeled as the y-axis, is being labeled as the imaginary axis. So how could you plot this complex number 2 plus negative 2i, or again, you could say 2 minus 2i if you wanted to do that? Well, essentially, it's just like you're taking the a, which is 2, and then the b, which is negative 2, and you're plotting that as an ordered pair. The a, or this 2, is my location on the horizontal axis or the real axis. Again, traditionally, this is the x, so we're moving right or left from the origin. Here, since this value is 2, from the origin, I'm going 2 units to the right. So that is my real part right there. Then my imaginary part is given right here. Again, that's the b, that's the number that's multiplying this imaginary unit. In this case, that's negative 2. So from the origin, let me just go down 2 units. So that's that part right there. So it's just the meeting point between those two guys. So from the origin, I could go 2 units to the right and then 2 units down. Or from the origin, I could have went 2 units down and then 2 units to the right. Either way, I would be at that point. Now, traditionally, that would be 2 comma negative 2. But let's just go ahead and say that we're going to put 2 plus negative 2i, or we could even write 2 minus 2i. I think that's a little bit cleaner to show that this is our point here that represents that complex number. All right, let's take a look at problem 2. So here we have 4 plus 2i. So let's come down here and say 4 plus 2i. Again, I'm going to write a plus bi to match things up. So the a, or the real part, is 4. And then the b, or the imaginary part, is 2. So it's always the number that's multiplying the imaginary unit I. So I'm looking for 4 on the real axis. So from the origin, I'm just going 4 units to the right. And I'm looking for 2 on the imaginary axis. So from the origin, I'm going 2 units up. So the meeting point between those two. So in other words, from the origin, I would go 4 units to the right and then 2 units up. So that's going to put me right there. Or I could have started at the origin and went 2 units up and then 4 units to the right. So either way, let's label this as 4 plus 2i. All right, let's take a look at problem 3. So here we have negative 5 plus 3i. So let's write negative 5 plus 3i. And once again, I'm just going to write a plus bi here. So a, the real part, is negative 5. And then b, the imaginary part, is 3. So from the origin, I'm going to go 5 units to the left. So that's going to be right here. Let me put a negative 5 there so that's crystal clear. And then I'm going to go 3 units up. So let me actually show this right here on the imaginary axis. So 5 units to the left and then 3 units up. And that's going to be right there. So that would be your point. Let me just write it above. So negative 5 plus 3i. All right, let's take a look at problem 4. So here we have negative 6 minus 7i. So let's come down here and write negative 6. I'm going to go plus negative 7 times I. And let's just match things up. So a is negative 6. That's the real part. And then let's go plus bi like this. So b, that's the imaginary part. Here, that's negative 7. So again, it's just like I'm trying to find negative 6 comma negative 7 on my regular coordinate plane. The real part is negative 6. So I'm just going 6 units to the left from the origin. The imaginary part is negative 7. So I'm going 7 units down from the origin. And it's just the meeting point between the two. So from the origin, I could go 6 units to the left and then 7 units down. That's going to be right there. Or I could have went from the origin 7 units down and then 6 units to the left. Again, either way, that point represents the complex number, -6, and let's go minus 7i. All right, let's take a look at problem 5. So here we have 7 plus 8i. So let's write 7 plus 8i. And again, this is a plus bi here. So a, the real part is 7, and b, the imaginary part is 8. So it's just like I'm trying to plot 7, 8 on my regular coordinate plane. So again, the real part is 7. So on the horizontal axis, I'm going 7 units to the right from the origin. So that's going to be right there. Let me write in a 7. And then on the imaginary axis, the imaginary part is 8. So let me just go from the origin up 8 units. Let me write in an 8 there, and I'll just circle that. So if I wanted to plot the point that represents this complex number, from the origin, I could go 7 units to the right and then go 8 units up. So that will put me right there. Or I could have started at the origin and went 8 units up and then 7 units to the right. Again, whatever you want to do. So this point represents the complex number, 7 plus 8i.